Hello, and welcome back to episode 4 of the Bedroom Club podcast. My name is Donna. Nice to meet you, or nice to see you, whatever. I'm super excited to do another episode. I don't have much to say, intro-wise, but it's nice to see you. Last week we talked mainly about my trip to Peru with my church, kind of debriefed that. What else did we talk about? I explained my hiatus, but the hiatus is over, guys. I recorded on Thursday night, and then uploaded on Saturday, and today is Tuesday, so it feels like I just recorded kind of, even though it's been like 4 or 5 days at this point, but it doesn't feel like that. It feels like I just recorded 2 days ago, so I'm like, dang, we're already talking again? I'm trying to think if I have any other life updates. The events that I had going on last time with my church, some of those passed. The Young Adult Summit passed. It was amazing, really fun, really good experience for me as a young adult, like not just being on the worship team, but getting to like sit in on the messages and stuff, was wonderful. Got connected with people, because I feel like I'm really shy. Honestly, I'm gonna talk about that a little bit. But I'm not shy is the thing. Like, I feel like everything is like, it depends. Like, it truly depends on what situation I'm in. Anyway, at church in particular, I don't know a lot of people that go to my church. If that, like people my age, even though I am involved like on the worship team and stuff, I don't have a lot of, well, actually, I don't have any Christian friends right now, really, that like I go to church with and stuff. Over the Young Adult Summit, there were some people I got to talk to, got some phone numbers, got to know some people, so that was fun. And again, the messages were really good and worship was really fun. So overall a success, and we love. Oh, I did want to actually say one more thing. Sorry about the lighting. I know it's weird. It's because usually I'm realizing I was not recording when it was light outside. I'm not facing the window. I'm facing opposite of the window. The lighting is not particularly doing me any favors. It's not horrible, but it's just like, I know that there's this like white whatever going on by my head. I think I might buy a camera, guys. I think I might buy a camera. I had been thinking about it anyway. Honestly, I cannot deal with my phone camera. It's not horrible, but it's just like, it's not great. It's really not. And like usually by then, I mean, y'all can see, like by the end of the episodes, it's lagging so much I have to keep restarting. Like my phone, she can do a lot, but she cannot take this. Maybe after I've recorded a certain number of episodes, I'll keep that number in my head though, but maybe after I've recorded a certain number of episodes, I'll invest in a camera, because I don't know, I'm just like, you can't even stick it out through like 4 episodes, girl. It sucks recording with my, it doesn't suck. I just know that it would be much better if I had an actual camera. That's all. We can go ahead and get into today's topic. And today I wanted to talk about the perils of being the nice girl and kind of just delve into my personal experience with that label, I guess, and how I actually feel like, not in all ways, but in some ways has done me more harm than good. When I say the nice girl, I'm not trying to say like, oh, I just know I'm the nicest person ever, I'm just so nice and like yada yada yada. I do think I'm nice. People say that I'm nice, and so I'm speaking from that perspective, but not to be confused with like me thinking that I'm the nicest person in the world and no one, everyone else is mean and I'm just so nice and like so helpless and whatever. I don't know. I don't want it to come across that way, because that's not what I mean. I just mean that I know that I'm very nice and agreeable, and I'm speaking from that lens, if that makes sense. When I think of like someone who's a nice girl, I just think of someone who's generally chill, agreeable, cooperative, like conflict avoidant, I would say. At least for me. Like, I think that that's why people think I'm nice. I think I'm a little too smiley sometimes, if that makes sense. Always got a smile on my face, which I don't think that that's a bad thing either. I think that's a good thing. Shout out to I don't want to say her name because I feel weird about saying her name, but shout out to my one teacher in high school who said that I was the smiliest student that she ever had. Thank you. Nice girl, has a smile on her face, agreeable, cooperative, avoids conflict, chill, whatever. And I feel like that word has definitely been used to describe me in my life, at work, in school, like my friends, family. I think I've just always been given that label. Well, I think not given it like unwarranted. I think I act that way. I feel like honestly the only times that I actually get angry about something, I'm alone. Like when I'm outside of my own personal space, I don't have all the thoughts or the words or the emotions to be upset. Like I feel like I physically do not have access to them, which might sound stupid. I feel like ever since I was a baby, like my mom always will say that I was just so chill and so calm, to the point of sometimes concern, because she always makes the joke that like she never knew like if I was hungry or tired or cranky or like whatever it is, because I would never cry. Like she was always like, is this baby okay? Like what's her issue? Why is she never crying? So I'm just very like calm. I feel like ever since I was a kid I've gotten that like cool, calm, collected, nice girl label. And I think that that has definitely, like, that still is a major way that people describe me. And I don't think that it's a bad thing by any means. I think something I get a lot at work is that I'm really patient, which I think is true. And I don't think, again, like, that's a part of my niceness that I'm proud to wear. I'll wear it with honor. I don't think that there's anything wrong with those things at all. I'm proud to be those things. And those are things that I think, no matter how my personality changes, I want to keep those same qualities. Sometimes my niceness is on accident, if that makes sense. I don't fully think about things and like think about if they're hurtful or if they're wrong or whatever the case may be until I'm like alone and reflecting on a particular situation, and then I'm like, wait a minute, why did that person speak to me that way? Why did I let that person treat me like that? Why did I let that person treat that other person like that? The way I carry myself when I'm out, like when I'm out with others or when I'm at work or wherever I am, like I'm just like, okay, I'm around people, like let me, you know, have a smile on my face, let me be agreeable, let me be that like nice girl. And then someone will like make a joke that's like low-key hurtful or offensive, and I kind of just like laugh it off. I get back home and I'm like, wait a minute, now that I think about it, you're actually hella wrong for what you did. But of course that comes like later. The meme of like, oh, when you get in the shower and then you remember all of the like points you could have argued with that you forgot about, that's 100% me. Like I don't even register certain things as hurtful, and then I'll like go home and I'll be like, wait, maybe I shouldn't have let that person talk to me like that. I think what I'm trying to aim for now is more like, let me be kind still. Like I still want to be that kind person. Really, this all started because a friend sent me a TikTok. Basically the TikTok was saying like niceness is ruining your life because you're like avoiding conflict and putting on this mask of like, oh, it doesn't bother me, like I'm just a nice girl, I'm just a nice girl. And then like there's always going to be that wall between you and others. Whereas like being still kind but like honest, get to the root of like problems, work on conflict resolution, figure out the people in your life, figure out who you want to be associated with, who you want to keep close to you, and who you know, maybe don't want to keep in your inner circle. You can find out more about yourself too, like how you resolve conflict. Again, when my friend sent me this TikTok, I literally was like, oh, 100% clocked. Maybe I need to be more kind and less nice, because niceness starts to feel shallow at a point. It's just a little bit of a struggle for me because I'm just not an argumentative person. Not that I'm stupid. I'm smart. I got a good GPA in high school and college. You would think that I would be a better arguer. I am a horrible arguer. And it's kind of funny because there was that point in my life, and honestly sometimes I still consider it, but there was a point in my life where I wanted to go to law school. And now I think about it and I'm like, so what were you gonna do? Because first of all, I low-key hate arguing. Like I hate when I get caught up in an argument with someone. Like I don't remember the last time I got into a fight with a friend or with a family member. Like, you know, like there's no arguing going on, or with a coworker. Like I never am actually arguing really, but if I'm having like a low stakes argument, like I said, about a show or something like that, I really struggle. I think it's for two reasons. Like I'm too lazy to argue. Like at a certain point, like I get 3 points in and I'm like, okay, I'm not having fun anymore. Like this is boring me. But another thing is that I truly, and you know what? This is how it should be. But when I get into an argument with someone, like I truly truly am listening to understand. I'm not listening to respond. And so they'll bring up a point and like, I'll be like, you're kind of right actually. And like, I need to take time and think about that and think about if I even have a response to that, or if you just like made a really good point that should make me, change my mind about something. I tend to not argue, or if I do argue, I don't do it well. I actually think that almost holds me back in a sense from truly developing like a deep relationship with someone. I feel like that creates a little bit of a wall because like conflict actually is a good thing in a relationship. I would say depending on what the conflict is. Sometimes I hear about conflicts between people and I'm like, the fact that that's even an issue, maybe this person shouldn't be in your life. How does that person handle conflict? Did that person approach you in a super confrontational way, yelling, kicking, screaming? Or were they calm and honest, or were they passive aggressive? Like, I think that not just the thing that you're arguing about, but also how you handle the conflict and how you handle the resolution is really revealing of who you want in your life, what kinds of platonic and romantic relationships you want to keep. And I think as someone who avoids those types of situations or like doesn't see them all the way through, how is someone supposed to know if they want me in their life if they don't know how I handle conflict? Because I can like say it, I can say like, oh, I think I would handle conflict this way or that way or whatever, but like if I don't ever like, see it through, how do they truly know? How do they truly know that my actions back up my words? Mind you, this is also not me saying that like I'm looking for arguments now or like I'm looking for conflict, because trust and believe I'm not. But I guess it's just more so like when conflict arises, which is inevitable, being okay with it and not just like laughing it off, I think will help me develop more deeper and real friendships. Low-key, in a more selfish way, being too nice is not good for me. Like, I feel like I end up holding a lot of things in. A lot of times it's because I just don't fully grasp like that someone did something hurtful until I'm like reflecting on my day or like reflecting on a certain situation, and I'm like, you're dead wrong for that. But a lot of times in the moment I'm just like, okay, and like move on. But let me tell you, being the nice girl who like doesn't say anything when something hurts her feelings or whatever is bad. Bad for all the reasons that I just said, but also just like on a personal selfish level, like being so passive and just like letting things bubble up is not a good way to go about life. Take it from me, speaking from experience here. For example, I think something I think about a lot is old friendships that I had in like high school, and I really feel like I mismanaged a lot of friendships. That's okay, because it's like, it's a life lesson, and I hate that other people had to be my life lesson though, or like that certain friendships had to be my life lesson. But I think back to high school and I'm like, wow, I really mismanaged some friendships because I let people do things that irritate me, like, kind of talking down to me or whatever the case may be. I just let them do it, and I let them do it, and I let them do it. I can think of like already right now 2 different people who I was friends with in high school who like did things that I think I was rightfully upset about, but I didn't communicate that. Instead of communicating like, hey, you did XYZ, that hurt my feelings because of XYZ. I, really appreciate our friendship and I want us to continue being friends. And in order for us to do that, I think we both need to do XYZ. And I never communicated that way. I just like didn't say anything, and I just let them get at me and get at me and get at me. And then one day I'm just like, yeah, I'm actually never talking to you again. That's no way to go about life. I really regret it. I do wish that I had given myself an opportunity to learn how to communicate better, had given that person the opportunity to understand how their actions might impact someone else. Maybe we would have remained friends and it would have been a beautiful friendship. I don't know. And again, not really the point. It's just like, the whole point of this topic really is like communicating how you feel. Hiding behind that like label of niceness doesn't always give someone the opportunity to grow. And I wish that I had given myself and others that opportunity when I was younger. It's never a good feeling either to like, I would usually just like wait until someone really ticked me off, and like I have this like it's like I'm collecting this list of like wrongs, and I hate that I did that. But because I was doing that, I would get to like wrong number 10, and I was like, okay, you're done actually. Yeah, you're done. I wouldn't say it in a mean way, but I was like, I'm not feeling our friendship right now. I don't want to, like, I think we need a break. I don't think I was ever mean, but that in itself feels mean. Like, how are you gonna let someone do all these things to you and not say a single word about it, and then essentially try to like soft cut them off? And they say hindsight is 20/20, but definitely in my hindsight, I'm like, why did you do that to her? You evil person. Something else especially that has taught me that is actually my job. I sometimes have to handle like team conflicts and stuff at work, and I actually think that doing that and being like an unbiased third party to staff conflict has made me a lot more aware of like sometimes, you know, a staff member will reach out to me and be like, hey, this person's doing XYZ. I feel like it's really, you know, hurting the team because of XYZ. One of the first questions that we have to ask is like, did you say anything to that person? Like, not in a confrontational way, but like, did you, you know, say something or explain why you felt like they needed to, you know, do something differently? Like, did you say anything? And I think that translates into real life too. Like, you can't expect people to be mind readers because everybody has different perspectives and lived experiences. And that's also not to excuse someone's like bad behavior just because they have a different lived experience than you. And vice versa. Like your bad behavior also shouldn't be excused because like, oh, you grew up differently. But you need to give people the chance, because I found at my job that a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times when you give people the chance to like grow and you sit them down and you like just have an honest conversation with them where you're like, hey, this is what you need to work on. Here's why. You know, we care about you. We want you to grow, stuff like that. I found at work that like a lot of times we have that conversation with people and they do a complete 180. It makes me realize that they just needed someone to tell them like not just what they were doing wrong, but why and why it mattered that they do it differently. Being a friend who can approach someone that you love and be like, hey, you're doing this thing that I think is harmful for our friendship or harmful to me or harmful to you, and here's why I think you should fix it, and I love you, I care about you, I want the best for you, I want the best for our relationship, and I want us to be able to move forward from this and grow. And I think that while I've learned that lesson at work for sure, I think I still need to like learn how to implement that in my personal life. Again, I also don't feel like I'm in situations often where I'm arguing with people, like, but then I'm like, is that because I'm too nice? Like, I don't know. Who wants to argue? Sign up with the link down below if you're trying to get into an argument with me. But my point is that conflict allows people to grow if you communicate appropriately. I don't think obviously that means like you go and you yell and you always are like looking for the next opportunity to like put someone in their place and stuff like that. I think that that's irresponsible too, but there's got to be a balance between like being honest and confrontational in a kind way. And I know that I'm still like trying to find that, but I want to find it so that I can be better and let others be better and grow. I also think that for the other person, it probably feels like all of a sudden, you know, the 10th time they did something that I've let them do 9 other times, now I'm switching up. And like, I do feel bad about that. Like, it feels like I'm being fake, even though I know that in my head, I was experiencing very different emotions than what I was displaying outwardly. Like, people are not mind readers, so even though I know in my head that like the first time they did something or the second time they did something, it irritated me, like I didn't tell them anything until the 10th time. now what? Like, yeah, no wonder that they're gonna be like, wait, what? Like, how are you gonna tell me this now? And that's totally valid. And I think when I think about it like that, I'm like, okay, yeah, you're low-key fake. Like, why are you switching up on me? In conclusion, I think that the whole like nice girl thing, I do think it's important to be kind. I feel like I cannot overstate that. I don't think that that's ever something I'm going to change about myself. I'm not trying to turn around after this episode and like become the meanest person ever. I enjoy being kind and understanding and empathetic to others. I also don't think that that's like a me thing to boast about. It's a God thing. Sorry. I know that was so cringe. But I do genuinely think that, like, again, I know that people, you know, we all have different beliefs. I don't think that people who are not of the same faith as me can't be empathetic. I can see time and time again that that's not true. But I do think that for me, sometimes I'm like, yeah, like, I could pursue this dumb argument and, like, be mean, but what do I gain from that? And what would God want me to do? Sometimes I make the right decision. Maybe sometimes I make the wrong decision. Just felt like it was worth saying. Like, I don't think that it's just like this internal thing that I have that like is because of me. I think it's an internal thing that I have because of my faith. As I was saying, I think that all of those things that I said can be true. Like to be kind and empathetic and understanding and all of those things can remain. But the like, I'm just going to be nice and not say anything ever when it hurts my feelings or when it irritates me or when I think it's wrong. Like, it actually does a disservice to myself because I end up holding a lot of things in and then I get more upset and I feel bad. And that's not the type of life I want to live. It's also not fair to the other person because it's like, what kind of chance am I giving them when I don't, you know, tell them that something that they do hurts me? What kind of chance am I giving our relationship? I'm not giving them a chance to show me who they are, and I'm not giving myself a chance to show them who I am. I think we're gonna be less nice, stereotypically nice, but be kind. I feel like those are all my thoughts on being the nice girl. I know I'm the nice girl. Again, not even trying to boast about it. I just, coming from someone who's heard it a lot. Maybe I'm not that nice, honestly. Maybe one of the people in my life is watching this or listening to this and is like, nobody thinks you're nice. Like, nobody thinks you're especially nice. If you know me in real life, hold me accountable. If you see that I'm being too nice, call me out. For some reason, I feel like, I don't know, insecure about this episode or like about the topic in particular. I mean, because I'm like, the last one I was like it feels like I'm being a pick-me a little bit. And I'm like, I hope it doesn't actually sound like that because I'm really not. Trust me, guys. Because the last episode I talked about how I feel like I'm worried that it sounded like I was saying like nobody likes me, which I don't think is true. But last episode I'm like, yeah, I just don't have any best friends. And now today I'm like, yeah, I'm just like so nice. Like, shut up. So I hope it doesn't sound like that. I hope I explain myself well so it makes sense what I'm saying. Okay. Wonderful. Thanks so much for listening / watching again. Today's rant topic is time blindness. And this is a self-awareness rant, not a rant on other people, because I think I have a severe case of time blindness and I'm really working on not doing that anymore because it's actually not chill. As a Black person specifically, I'm like, as a Black Caribbean African person, like, I'm just a statistic at this point because why am I always late everywhere? I'm always late. And it's like, no, be on time. Like, my best friends, we all used to be like more late. Like, I feel like I let myself be late because I knew that they were going to be late. So I'm like, I'm not about to rush to get to this place that we're going to because I know that if I get there on time, like, I'm probably going to be waiting. So I'm going to just wait. And we'll all, you know, be late together, but it's going to feel like we're all on time. But now they are so much more punctual than me. And I'm like, they're leaving me in the dust. I think it's because they have their big girl job. So, like, they got to, you know, be timely if they want to get the stuff in their day done. I'm not even the unemployed friend. I just don't have a traditional 9 to 5 schedule. Oh my gosh, I'm also always late to work. Like, not by anything significant, but there are people that I work with that come in for their shift like 10 minutes early. And me, like, I clock in either on the hour that, like, if my shift starts at 5, I'm clocked in at 5, maybe 5:01. Latest, like, 5:02. I should be there 5 minutes early. Like, I should be clocking in at 4:55. And I think that part of the problem is that I just always think that I have more time than I actually do. Or I always think that it'll take me less time than it does. In particular, like, for work, I have lived in 2 places while I've worked at the same job, and both places are a 5-minute drive from my job. So, I mean, it's really hard to force myself to be on time when, like, I know that if I leave at 4:55, like, I can clock in by 5 o'clock. Is that responsible? No, because what if you get stuck at a weird light and it takes too long, or anything? What if you get stuck behind, slow cars? Like, anything could happen. Anything could happen. I feel like a jukebox today. I feel like as someone who I work so close to home that it's like, yeah, I can leave at 4:52 and make it on time for my shift at 5 o'clock. Is that smart? No. Is it considerate? No. Is it responsible? No. And so I say this to hold myself accountable. Again, this is another thing. Hold me accountable if you know me in real life. If you see me pulling up late to work, clock me. When I was in theater, our director used to always say, if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And if you're late, you're dead. So I don't remember being like a late person when I was in theater, but maybe that scared me. Maybe I need to start telling that to myself again. I don't know. I will say something I've been really good at getting on time to recently is church. I've been so on time for church recently, like church service, because I usually go Sundays at 11 a.m. And there was a time, I go to church alone. I feel like when I was going with like my mom, we were always late. I'm sorry. Usually, like, my church will do 3 worship songs in the beginning. I feel like we would always miss the first one, for sure, growing up. And then when I started driving myself, I low-key still feel like I would miss, like, just a little bit of the first song. Like, by the halfway point, I was there. I was in the worship center. But now it's like I walk in and worship has not begun yet. And I'm like, this feels great. I have been doing well about getting to church on time. But other than that, I feel like I'm also inconsistent. Like, sometimes I'll have a couple weeks where I am getting to places on time and, like, everything's good. And then after a few weeks, like, I just go back to my old ways. I'm addicted to being late. In conclusion, I need to stop being time blind. I need to be considerate of my time and of other people's time. Like, why are you putting yourself in a situation where you have to rush? Why are you putting other people in a situation where they might have to wait for you? It's not chill. I know it's not. Again, especially as... I'm actually, like, completing the stereotype. And we need to be better. Next week's rant topic is going to be AI, guys. I'm anti-AI, and y'all are going to hear about it because... Actually, I was going to start ranting, but we'll just save it for the next episode. But it's deep. It goes deeper than you think. Also, I don't know if you guys can tell, but my eyes feel really tired right now. I really need to take out my contacts. I don't need to, but I want to take out my contacts before I have to go to rehearsal. So we're going to take out our contacts. And I think it's because of the light. Like, I think it's too bright in here to have this light on, but it just looks better on camera than if I had it off. Media of the week. Actually, before we get into media of the week, from here on out for media, I'm thinking we do book update, potentially with recommendation, song recommendation, and that can be one song or multiple songs, depending on the week, and TV or movie optional, because I just feel like I'm not watching anything. So we'll do TV, movie, or YouTube video optional. I think that's how we'll structure media from here on out, just to honestly help myself out. And to help y'all out, because I feel like I'm just like throwing stuff out. But let's be consistent. With that being said, book update. I actually don't really have a book update because I haven't read between now and the last episode. To be fair, I just recorded the last episode a few days ago, but I still should probably be reading. But still, working on The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Haven't read a single page of it since the last time I opened it up, which was probably like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it's there for sure. And, we'll get there. We'll get there eventually. My song recommendations today are Cross Your Mind by Shelly. That's like Clairo for all the bedroom pop girls. I feel like she's not doing the same type of bedroom pop that she was doing like with Immunity, but I love this new direction that she's going in. Love, love, love Charm from front to back, honestly. My second song recommendation is Game Boy by Cat's Eye. Really been into Cat's Eye recently, I'm not gonna lie. But that song's really good. Game Boy by Cat's Eye. Clock in. They just released an EP actually, so if you like Game Boy, listen to the whole EP. I like it, but I don't know if just anybody would like it. I feel like Game Boy is the most universally appealing relative to the other tracks. Those are my 2 songs for the day. And then TV, movie, or YouTube video. I've been watching a lot of the Chronically Online Girl Explains by Nicole Raffi. I think she's really funny, and I just like videos like that, honestly. Like Mike's Mike is another YouTuber that I really like, but I just like those long breakdown videos. I love. So was watching a lot of that, especially yesterday. She just posted a Justin Bieber, Hailey Bieber, Selena Gomez one that I thought was really well made and funny. I think that's it. Thank you guys so much again for listening. I really appreciate it. I love you. I hope you have a great weekend and week. And I will see you next time. Bye.